But harvests occur daily in your life. Let's talk about the things that you don't think are happening. Your harvest is any good thing in your life. Something is good in your life right now. You might be looking for something that's better, but you're ignoring what's already good. And so when you're looking for something that's better, you sometimes forget to say thank you for what's good. And why do we know sometimes there's something better? Maybe we've asked for something better, or we have watched somebody else and said, wow, I wish I had what they had. And what they have may not be good, it just may be better than what you think you have. Any person who blesses you, any person who encourages you, any person who corrects you, any person who strengthens you, any person who improves you is a harvest. Write that down. Because sometimes we say, I don't see anything happening with my offerings. I don't see anything coming from it. Look at any person. That person has improved you in any way of your life. That's a harvest. Did you thank God for that person? Do you thank God for that person? Any person who corrects you, you may not like the correction. They may come across as an old coach or an old trainer. I don't want to hear that. But if they're correcting you, right now, I say yes, sir, yes, ma'am, to people. And the gentlemen that we're raising here in the church, we just use that. It sounds like an old phrase, but boy, it sure does demand respect. And there are people who taught me yes, sir, yes, ma'am, that I couldn't stand growing up. They made me mad and angry. But you know what I know now? They were a harvest. They put some things inside of me that are called manners and dignity and respect. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is becoming very rare now. So we have to understand, we have to replant some of those same seeds and ask God for some of that same harvest. There is no reason for a 9-year-old to talk to a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old as if that 30-year-old is a 9-year-old. Yeah, what's up? That's a difference that needs to be defined. That's just my personal opinion, and I'll move to the next one. Any person in your life that corrects you, blesses you, is a harvest. Any idea, that's three categories: people, ideas, and opportunities. Any idea that's been planted in your heart by God that could possibly help someone else, that's a harvest. Tonight we're not going to go on a complete harvest run, but I think some of you don't know that your seeds are already working. And the only way you'll see that they're not working, stop watering them. Stop doing good. Because to give is a good thing. It's already working. If you have ideas, and those ideas are going to benefit and help someone else, that idea is a harvest. A lot of people will be passed up around you all the time. They're good, they look qualified, but they just don't have the ideas that are needed right then. You have the idea. And for some of you, God can wait years before you start presenting your crazy, weird, strange harvest called ideas. Any opportunity to increase your finances, any opportunity to help you to save in any area, to maximize your standard of excellence or unlock a gift within your life, that's also a harvest. You do have some things happening right now, and you just may not be able to see it. And until tonight, you didn't realize, whoa, my seeds are working. I've got to keep watering it because something is happening in my life right now. I'm waiting on the big thing, and God has given me the great opportunity to tell people about the little things. One of these days, I don't know if you'll still be here, but we'll sit here and we will watch buds, flowers come off of these. Nobody's coming up here right now to pick anything off and say, can I wear one on my collar or on my coat? Because you don't see what's underneath this. But as I continue to water it, something is going to come from it. And then somebody will eventually say, can I have one? And I will say, for $2. And then they might get to be a little question about it. Well, I knew it when it was nothing, and you didn't pay anything for it when it was nothing. But as soon as it started to look like it was something, if you really believed in what it was, if I asked you to give something on it, you ought to be blessed to give something because you saw it when you thought it was nothing. God gave you the chance to save for it. He got thorns on here so you couldn't pick it on your own. And there are some of you in here right now that are extremely important. But does anybody ever want to give anything to you? They'll say things to you, they'll encourage you, but are they willing to give anything to you? So any opportunity for you to maximize some things in your life, that is another harvest. And I just thought tonight it'd be a good time to stop before we move forward so you can get your think on. Not your think on, but get your think on. You know, we may have locked up on our think. We're so uptight with God because things are not coming the way we want that we're overlooking some things that are already there. Stop waiting until your hair gets long. Won't you brush it? Or just wipe it while it's not long. Just keep it managed so that when it's longer, you get used to it and you'll be able to say, oh, thank you, Lord. Quit fooling with it and thank God for it. Stop looking at someone else and look in the mirror. Take some pictures of yourself now. You are blessed. Your harvests are coming towards you every moment of your life. Now, it's your responsibility to recognize them. You can write that down if you need to. It's your responsibility to recognize it. It's coming all the time. You are having a lack of recognition problem. You don't recognize your harvest. You don't recognize that right now, if you have on a coat, that's a harvest. Some people are right now maybe saying, ooh, it's too hot in the church. That's a harvest. There are some churches right now that don't even have walls. People are meeting under tents. And they are cold, freezing. You have the comfort of some heat. But instead of saying, thank you, Lord, you can complain about it. Because you don't really see heat as a harvest. And you know in just a second we can put you in a refrigerator. You go to IBOC and the C stands for cold. Hardly anybody recognizes a harvest when it happens. And that's what's becoming more and more sad now. We don't realize that right now you've paid $100, $500, $1,000 in that seed. You got seeds all over the place. And you're constantly watering those seeds, but you don't recognize your harvest. You could have been paralyzed from the accident that you had 20 years ago. You were that close from it. You didn't have your vision for a while. You didn't have feelings in your neck. I don't know who I'm talking to. I'm just giving ideas now, so please don't take it offensive and angry. But really, you could right now not have your sight because glass from the accident that you had could have gone into your eyes. It went everywhere else. They pulled it out of your hair. They were picking it out of your face. Some of it is still probably embedded in your skin, but you have your sight. Your leg could have been severed and you could be without a leg, or you could be without any feet, or you could be without arms. Let's just go to the ultimate. You could have even died and you were the only provider that your entire family had. So what you call a miracle is a harvest. Those very hands that you're not stubborn enough to clap with, you're just freely clapping those hands. If you can move those hands, that's a harvest. But sometimes we don't recognize it because that's so easy. But until you've been in a position where you and couldn't, somebody right now listening to me on this system is not in church. They're at home. They're laying down. You have shoes on your feet. Jesse Walker Sr. is listening to me right now, not able right now to put his shoes on. You got shoes on, and you're saying they're uncomfortable, kicking your toe out, wishing we'd hurry up and go so you could soak your feet. He's waiting to be able to put some shoes on his feet. Your shoes on your feet, that's a harvest. Every night, you're going to drive into your garage. You're going to push a button. You're not going to even raise it. You're going to drive up in your garage here in a minute. You'll drive down the street on the way to your house or to your apartment, and you'll look up at the moon. And you ought to be able to say, thank you, Lord, for another beautiful harvest today. Why you say that, Pastor? Well, he kept his angels around you every moment of the day. You didn't wake up in a hospital this morning with tubes coming out of your head. running all over your body. Listen to me, church. That's a harvest.